Hello everybody and welcome to the first episode of the new Imperator Rome patch. Now I don't know who we're going to play, and I don't know what the title of this is yet, although you do, so that's good. Now, I should note that pursuant to the poll, this is going to be the new Imperator Rome patch. However, as I said here, Imperator isn't that long of a game. Cities will certainly be back, so for people who wanted Cities Skylines, which there is a definite vocal group of those, it will come. This will return in future polls, so that is wonderful. Pursuant to the poll, however, right now we're doing Imperator Rome. However, there's been a big update, and that was... how long ago? It is the 6th today, so that was about 3 weeks ago that this patch launched. I haven't covered it, I haven't played Imperator, but let's just dive straight into these patch notes, shall we? So this is the patch 2.0, this is with the Heirs of Alexander content pack, and we do indeed have that. Apparently they've completely redesigned the UI, added nested tooltip and game concept support, presumably like in CK3. Technology advances now provide an innovation per level, blah blah blah. Raise levies from your integrated pops in time of war. That's a big change there, for sure. Form standing legions, yeah. So these are all the free features here. Ports can now come in tiers. We'll discover a lot of these as we go through. I just want to skim this a little bit. Great Wonder Designer, okay, that's interesting. New missions, new music tracks, all this fancy new feature stuff. The game balance is what we're really interested in here. Manpower pools now regenerate faster, but only store 12 years worth of manpower. Now, manpower was a difficult thing to manage previously because it was so slow to regenerate. We'll have to see how that feels, especially with these levy changes. Freemen and tribesmen now provide increased manpower, that's fine. Most sources of tax income have been reduced, that's interesting. Population output in all territories is now reduced by 30%, oh my. Settlements now have 50% reduced shipbuilding speed, okay, and a 15% malice to pop output. Tributaries now have their tribute removed from their resources instead of just adding to the overlord. That's probably a good change there. Build road cost is reduced by engineer cohorts, okay. Food production is now possible without surplus. Interesting. Food production was always an awkward thing. Governors now receive a standard wage of 0.2% in addition to the provincial wage. Governor standard wages increased by 100%. Sure, low fort maintenance now reduces fort maintenance by 15% from 25. That's interesting too. I'm not too interested in the nitty-gritty details of all of these reworks. We'll figure that out as we play through the game. Population now scale with civilization value. Okay, tribesmen consume less food. That's probably a good thing. Okay, civic technology no longer grants commerce income. That's a notable. Anything else particularly interested here? Carpet Siege unit mission added. Interesting. Being at peace once again reduces war exhaustion to counterbalance new sources of war exhaustion gain, levies and great conquest wars. Okay. AI are less willing to join defensive leagues far away. Okay. Default willingness to grant military access. That's kind of handy. Significantly better at economic diplomacy. Okay. Interesting. A lot of very impactful changes here. So that's patch 2.0. Technically, we're on 2.0.1, which is a slight update there. Okay. Added an Anatolian city set. That's nice. Tooltips. Yeah. Game balance. Levies now have a scaling cooldown based on the strength of levy at disband time. This also applies to levies who are auto-disbanded due to stack wipe. Interesting. Okay, well, now that we have a little bit of a taste on what's in this, let's go ahead and dive right on in. So we're going to go into single player, and we're going to do a new game. Now there was an interesting option that somebody mentioned. I can't remember who, I'd have to look it up, and I closed that window, which is not helpful, so I apologize. I would name whoever it was, but they mentioned playing as potentially the Phoenicians. Which would be very interesting, considering there's this. That would essentially be playing as Carthage, though. So there is that. Now, this is the Heirs of Alexander, right? So there's the various successor states of I think Egypt is one of the successor states, isn't it? There's Macedon. This is different over here. The Antigonids are definitely different. They are a successor, I believe, though. And then the Seleucids over here. So that's all very, very interesting, of course. The question is, who do we want to play this as? Carthage would definitely be an interesting option. They're not a successor state, so they don't get all those fancy new features. But that might not necessarily be the worst thing. These are, of course, the interesting locations. Carthage is considered a normal difficulty. Sparta, Syracuse, Athens, Egypt, Macedon. Yeah. I'm kind of leaning towards Carthage, honestly. I really, really am. We're not going to run Iron Man mode. I rarely run Iron Man mode. And yeah, you can see here that they have that filling bar. That's the tooltip system that CK3 uses. So that's interesting. So we're going to play as Carthage. I think I've decided that. Mixed gender rules. Okay, I mean, we'll probably just leave this at the default. You may enable gender equality in the country you play if you so desire. In static rules, the gender will be predetermined. Okay, so mixed gender rules is the default, and you can just change it like in CK3. I'm okay with this. I've never played as Carthage before. I do want to check where is the trade goods map mode. That's what we're looking for, right there. We have access to iron right off the bat. That is a huge deal. Or at least it used to be. I don't know what the wars are like now. I guess we'll find out. Let's just dive right in. I guess we're playing Carthage. An ancient and proud civilization, Carthage holds a firm grip on the southern coast of the Mediterranean. Numerous colonial dependencies lie in thrall to the maritime giant, dotted along the coast of Iberia and islands throughout the western parts of the sea. The seafaring heritage of the Carthaginians remains unparalleled, extending territorial and economic dominance far and wide. However, the island of Sicily has remained a constant thorn in the side of the Carthaginian hegemony for many decades. Agathocles, the self-styled tyrant of Syracuse, still reigns in the eastern part of the island, having secured a tentative peace with Carthage, prolonging Greek presence there for the time being. Further north, the young and uncivilized Italic states wage bitter war on one another, though there are rumors that a once insignificant city is emerging to challenge the balance of power in Italy. They call themselves Rome. Carthage shall endure. So this is definitely very different already. This is very, very different looking. So we have a lack of commander on the navies. That's fine. This is very Stellaris style over here. Interesting. I do like the macro builder. That's always nice to see. We've got the nation overview, government, economy, religion, culture, trade overview, military, mercenaries, diplomacy, technology, characters, and missions. We do need commanders over here. We don't currently have one, and I'm going to hold off on assigning commanders until we... Oh, hello, we can colonize right off the bat. That makes sense. That makes sense. We have free idea slots, and we should probably do something about that, but first I want to look at the inventions here. Now, this looks substantially different. Innovations are accumulated when our technology increases. They allow us to adopt new inventions through the zeitgeist of our nation without having to invest gold. This is very different. Okay. This is very different. There's a planning mode here. I like that. So a planning mode would allow you to just grab things at random and just, you know, do something like that. And then if you turn off the planning mode, yeah, that just stays highlighted then. Fascinating. Okay, so we'll take a closer look at these trees a little bit later on. They look pretty extensive. That's good to see. So we have 8 available innovations, and otherwise we can gain these through gold if we choose to brute force it. I like that better than the old system so far. We'll have to see, but just conceptually, I like this quite a lot. Let's take a look at what they've done with religions. This is different. This is already very, very different. So it looks like we have Canaanite religion. Interesting. I've not played as Carthage before, so that's fine. No holy site for this guy. Temple of Tyros in South Phoenicia. Yeah. Now, it does bear noting that there isn't exactly a Phoenicia state anyway. You'd have to create that. That's okay. So we can call down an omen. These are the current holy sites. And this is controlled by our religion, I'm assuming? Owned by the Antigonid Kingdom. Ah, and we have a reliquary here that we could put a Statue of Youth in for 10% local research points. Currently in Carthage. Do it. Okay, where are our omens at then? That's Divine Sacrifice. That's our reliquary. Invoke Devotion. Yup. So where do we... Okay, we can replace these deities. That's fine. I mean, there's... Yeah, all of these deities here. Or we could deify the ruler. Okay. But where do we call in the omen? Do we just click on this? Yeah. So that's manpower recovery speed. We're actually above our max right now. That is not great manpower restoration, but that's okay. So that would be monthly tyranny reduction. That's not bad. Commerce income. I mean, we're negative right now. Mostly due to fleet maintenance. Okay. Commerce income might not be too bad. Discipline, I don't feel like is strictly speaking necessary right now. Although I do want to take a look at some of these up here. Are any of these new currencies? That works the same as it used to. Aggressive expansion, sure. War exhaustion, tyranny. Senate support. Okay. Didn't realize Carthage had a senate, but okay. That is, I guess, fine. So this is in Carthage itself. That's ideal. Requires a metropolis. Sure. I think for now we're going to grab the national commerce income. Okay, there we go. And we can always change this in 5 years, so no big concerns there. So that will increase our taxes a little bit, at least from commerce. So that's fine. Now, as far as our actual navies go here, we've got this one. And no attrition. Yeah, we can see here that this is a very expensive navy. Very expensive indeed. I'm also noticing a little bit of border gore over here. This is currently owned by this guy, apparently. Okay, what is their diplomacy? I don't remember how to read this interface. I will get there, I'm sure. This is just the provincial view, though, I'm pretty sure. What I want is to, like, talk to these guys. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. So these guys are our tribal vassals. That's good. We actually have a lot of subjects in this area. Okay. So if we wanted to integrate these, how would we go about doing that? It should be probably somewhere under influence actions. We could cancel their tribal vassal status. I don't think that we can integrate tribal vassals, if I recall correctly. Let's see here. Yeah, they're limited regarding diplomacy. Or maybe we need a technology for that. We'll come back to that. We have free idea slots, and we can grab some military ideas here. We do have 2 military idea slots, and we have an oratory idea slot. Ordered retreat, reinforcement speed, and army morale recovery. Ship building cost. I actually don't care that much about ship building cost. Morale of armies, on the other hand, that's pretty good. We'll grab that. And then for the oratory ideas, monthly corruption reduction. We don't currently have... Corruption is on a personal level, is it not? I believe it is. So if we look at our current ruler, which is this guy. Our current corruption on this gentleman here. Right, he's our ruler? Pretty sure he is. He's currently working on siphoning funds. Okay. Regardless, his corruption is probably in here somewhere. Conviction, senatorial influence. Where do we see our corruption, then? It used to be in here. Okay, what are these other options? Loyalty of generals and admirals is always nice. That's just flat loyalty, though. And improve opinion maximum. That's not the worst. I think we'll take the loyalty. And then for this other military idea, what is the matching bonus here? I think, oh, this bonus. Loyalty of characters +5, national freeman happiness. That's pretty good, actually. So I think we'll grab ordered retreat then. It's not necessarily ideal, but that'll be fine. We can colonize this territory. Right up over here. Oh, I see. Yeah, this isn't actually controlled. We should probably go ahead and do so. And the question is, how do we go about doing that? Colonize. 10 gold? Do it. Can we only colonize one at a time? That's right. We have to have pops in a neighboring province. That's how that works. This is all, I believe, uncolonized as well. Yes, indeed. Oh, hello! This is the Atlas map mode? Wait, what map mode is this? I'm not sure how I got here. I mean, it doesn't look terrible. This is the Atlas map mode. Of course. This is actually new. This didn't used to exist here. This is really neat. I like this map mode. Just visually speaking. I like that. Okay. So these guys are, of course, not currently able to be integrated. But that's okay. We don't need them to be. So these guys over here, I want to check to see if they're also all of our vassals. And it looks like they indeed are. Okay, so everybody in this area is. I wish there was like a factions map mode, although I suppose a... let's see here. I would like a diplomacy map mode. So just put in a diplomacy map mode over here, and now we can see. That is quite a thing. Okay. So who do we want to go to war with is the question. I mean, we do still have this small treasury issue. That may fix itself on a month tick. We'll have to see. We can still get some inventions. I would like to be in the martial inventions, and this is military artisans. Carthage gains a free province investment, and military provincial investment cost is minus 10%. Army weight modifier of minus 10% is actually a pretty big deal. And then there's astral navigation over here for naval range. Okay. There's also civic advances. We can see national citizen output. That would not be awful. Have they changed what citizens output? Let's take a look at our pop info here. Citizens are currently producing... yeah, that's all of that stuff. I can't remember what citizens produce. I believe they just produce whatever the resources there, or whatever building they're working in? Something along those lines. I'll have to reinvestigate this. I can't remember how all that works. Or, I mean, they've changed a lot of it. Regardless, import value plus 5%. That's not awful. These would not necessarily be a terrible thing to get. Slave output, tribesman output, freeman output, yeah. So that's just economic stuff. Aggressive expansion impact isn't really a big deal right now. Loyalty of characters isn't awful. Diplomatic reputation. Okay, and monthly ruler popularity gain. That is actually something that we will immediately grab. For sure. Integrated culture happiness, that's not bad. And unintegrated culture group happiness. Okay. Let's hop back into martial advances. And let's reduce the army weight modifier. That unlocks discipline, fort defense, and siege engineers. Okay. That's fine. I'm more interested right now in the economy, though. since we've got this negative thing going on here. Import value plus 5% or national citizen output, and we will take the citizen output. Thank you very much. Tribesman output, freeman output, and slave output. These are all really, really good. So we're going to immediately grab all 3 of these. Wonderful. Pop promotion speed. That's very good too. Tribesman output. Let's grab those 2. Tribesman output and pop promotion speed. I want to get our economy pretty under control. The question is, how often do we get innovations? I don't know. But at this point, if we wanted to do this, we lack the innovation, which would mean that we can't actually get this. Okay, so do we buy innovations then? Maybe. Also, I'm wondering, what is the point of getting these advances? Does that get us the innovation? Perhaps. Because I'm not seeing any required advances to get down here. So maybe that's what gets us the innovations. We'll look into that. Anyway, we do lack a commander in these locations, and I'm just going to put one in. We'll put... Honestly, I'd like an older guy. This guy. And then we'll put in this guy. Okay. Excellent. Now the question is, are these guys... They're exporting to us. Okay. So we could potentially think about fighting them. That is an option. And we can see that they have military tech of 0. We can also see that they currently have their regional power. Can we no longer see their number of cohorts here? That looks like that's no longer a thing that we can see. We can see their diplomatic relations. This is our details here. We're unable to see the manpower without a spy present, and we're unable to see the treasury without a spy present. Okay. So that is definitely quite different. I mean, there's a lot of changes here. There's no doubt about that. This is going to take some time to get up to speed. That is for sure. There's some mercs over here. We don't necessarily care about those. Where's our army? Do we not have an army? I feel like we need an army. So the outliner currently does contain our armies, and that means that we have none. So we should probably consider going into the macro builder here. Or can we not recruit in the macro builder? I guess we can't. So that would probably be in the military here. So we can see our levies here. We can see that they've got some light infantry, light cavalry, heavy infantry here. Okay, this is definitely very different. This works like in Crusader Kings now with the levies, and then this is our legions here. The potential strength of a legion raised in this governorship. When the correct laws have been enabled, you'll be able to raise legions from the various regions under your control. Okay. So we can't currently raise legions because we're lacking laws for that. So we have to rely entirely on levies currently. So I'm guessing the laws are in here. Yeah, military reforms. We're currently on Noble Elite, and we would need to move up to Provisioning Act to be able to raise legions. Okay. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. So we're on the electoral model right now. That's fine. Legislative body, we could endorse any of these assemblies or just abolish them. We'll look into that a little bit later on. We're currently on grain shipment law, which does give us manpower recovery. I'm wondering if our levies cost manpower to replenish. I'm guessing they do. These guys are our vassal, correct? Yes, they are. Are these guys? They are. They're feudatory to us. Wait, they're feudatory, not a tribal vassal? Fascinating. So yeah, we'd be able to start integration on that. We would need Senate support for that. Oh, actually, we would gain the tyranny because we have less than 51% Senate support. Fair enough. But if we were to push over into abolished assemblies, potentially, or just into... Let's see, there's citizenship laws here. Enables a senatorial war council government interaction. Okay. That's interesting. Well, this is a Senate here anyway. They're currently working on term length. They want to pass the shortened terms law, which is this one right here. Interesting. Very, very interesting. And it costs stability as well as political influence to change these laws. Well, this is definitely going to be an interesting playthrough. This is very different, and it will take some learning. There's no doubt about that. It is, however, time to put a cut in here. We did not manage to unpause, but that's not surprising, all things considered. We've still got additional things to go over. However, I am going to put that cut in here, and next episode, we're probably going to begin working on some of our expansion, perhaps over in one of these regions over here. Yeah, that would probably be what we would look to do. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.